because originally I was going to have you read the stuff, but then I remember how terribly you read, so then I decided I had to do it. Because you can't read.
That's not true.
You can read to yourself, but you have a hard time reading out loud.
It's not true. It's hurtful.
Have you ever heard yourself read out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there.
No, you're reading it, but do you actually hear yourself while you're reading it?
Do you hear yourself right now?
Uh-huh.
Condescending a little bit.
No, not a little bit. Directly, and very prominently, and proudly, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's just the way you were raised.
Yes. I like to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys! Welcome to It Figures episode 158. This episode is entitled, I Like to Hurt People.
I like to hurt people?
I like to hurt people.
It'll be filled with stories of how we hurt people.
Or just me hurting Killen for the entire episode. Once again, nobody else can make it.
Weird.
Ding Dong Rick is sick.
Oh, by the way.
What?
He's never sick. He doesn't hardly ever calls in.
Wait, didn't he call in like last week?
Oh, yeah. He calls in.
And the week before?
Bi-weekly. I wouldn't say every week because that wouldn't be fair. But bi-weekly is completely fair.
So, just...
Or every other week. How about that?
Does that mean twice a week or every other week?
I don't know. It was Rick. I said bye. I got confused. it's every other week. At least once every other week he'll call in. Or now, it is a bi-weekly fact that he'll text me with some need for something. But every other week it's, you know, hey, I can't come
we're going to break out the Tron.
I'm sick. I'm puking. It's always I'm puking. I just threw up. Rick throws up more than any... Like, I'm pretty sure he's possessed.
He's possessed?
He's possessed. He has a demon inside of him because he is throwing up all over the walls and spinning his head like every other day. Just saying.
Wait, are you sure?
He's got a child tummy.
Are you sure that... Because there's a difference between being possessed and just being kind of satanic and opening yourself up to demons.
Okay, well, obviously I'm talking about the Exorcism movie, and that's Rick. With his head spinning around, you know, that's him.
Are you sure he's not a demon himself?
I just don't understand. Like, go see a doctor. You got problems.
He did go see the doctor, and the doctor said...
And Scotty's just too cool for school.
Put the lime... Yeah, Scotty's former, I guess you'd say. She basically works a job. She was supposed to be done at 7, and then called to say that it'd probably be 7:45. And then it looks like it might be closer to 8. And then it might be 8:15. And this is all like about 6:30 in the evening she's calling and keeps pushing out like how late she's going to be back. So he just could not get away.
Okay, well that's semi-legitimate.
Yeah, it's not really his fault, you know. Like,
that's semi-legitimate.
In a sense, it's his fault because he should have known better with her in the first place several years ago.
Good point.
You know,
Good point.
It is Scotty, so... All right. So anyway, we do have the Google Hangout up and running. It does say we have 2 viewers, but they are people without cameras. If you people are listening in, just so you know, we do have the audio turned off. If you try to talk, we will not be able to hear you. So if you want to say anything, you got to go into the little chat window and type it in there. I'm just going to type hello to our 2 people who are watching right now, not saying anything.
Maybe you should explain how to connect to Google Plus, because I don't even know.
Well, first of all, you need to have a Google account, which if you have Gmail, you have one. You can just go to plus.google.com. You can go to google.com. You can go to mail.google.com. Basically, go to any Google place and just sign up and have an account. And then once you have one, you can find me on Google Plus. You can find Pop Culture Network on Google Plus. We have a Google Plus page.
Oh.
Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
It's connected to our Facebook, actually.
Okay.
You can find either That New Toy Smell, Pop Culture Network, or me on Facebook, and their links. What?
Okay, we're just getting a little confusing.
Well, you asked.
I thought it would just be like, you just go here and click this. I didn't realize you had to sign up for like 30 things.
No, I'm not saying you have to sign up for 30 things. I'm just saying the different places you can go to find it.
Okay.
You can go to my Twitter. You can go to my Facebook. You can go to Pop Culture Network Facebook. You can go to Pop Culture Network Google Plus. You can go to my Google Plus, or you can go to That New Toy Smell on Facebook, and you should be able to find the link for the hangout. And you just click on it, and we hang out, and we're hanging out. And we're hanging out with 2 viewers.
We should simplify this somehow. Just
I don't know. I mean, unless we
like
have
put a website, or can you stream this like on a website?
Well, it's streaming on Google Plus.
No, I mean like on a real website.
It's streaming on Google Plus. Actually, I don't know if it streams through YouTube. It'll save it to YouTube when we're done. If you go to YouTube, maybe you might be able to find it there as well.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Anyways,
Google owns YouTube, and
what?
Brazil,
And
the whole country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, farms there, sugarcane.
They got
sugarcane and rum.
They have drugs.
And they have the bikini fields where they grow all the bikinis for the world.
Oh,
Although the weird thing about Brazil is that the bottoms grow a lot faster than the tops, and so a lot of Brazilian beaches are just, you just got to wear the bottoms because they don't have enough tops to go around. Yeah.
Weird fact.
Yeah. And also, I guess the French Riviera is the same way. They just ship more bottoms there than they ship the tops.
Weird.
Yeah, I know.
Weird facts. Snapple, you always got the best. You always got the best stuff.
All right. First up, from Deep Fried Figures, which is a German company, and we know this because they are Deep Fried Figures GmbH instead of LLC, so they're one of them German companies. They are starting a new line of figures, PVC figures, called Mechawhales, and they are robotic mech bodies with whale heads. Super detail sculpted.
So
it is an amazing looking toy. It's like the most random thing. It almost looks like the loader from the end of Aliens, but with red rockets on it that it can fire, and then a whale head. And this says, in the distant future, mankind has allied itself with highly intelligent psychic whales. And those whales are trying to save the universe. They have a little animated thing you can watch to get the intro. But anyway, the toy itself, Mechawhales figures, 5.5 inches wide, 3.5 inches tall, PVC, highly detailed paint job. Shoulders, wrists, and tail can be rotated. Figure comes in a collector-friendly box. Makes it easy to take the figure out and put it back in again. Also comes with a cardboard diorama for displaying the figure. Suggested retail price, $45.
Wow.
So it is a little pricey, but I mean, anytime you get into these, custom toys, small toy lines, anytime you look at the stuff like the Galaxor and all that stuff, they get pricey.
Yeah.
So,
but it's a mech. It's a whale head on a mech.
it's a very
very random, and the fact that it's called Deep Fried Figures, the company name, that's pretty random too.
And it's very realistically sculpted. Like, this is not a cartoony looking whale in like a RoboCop suit of armor. Like, this is like a mech warrior mech with an actual whale's head.
So you think they were sitting around the office and like with a dartboard and like
no.
Let's combine two things.
You forget they're European.
Oh.
So they all got done with the mass orgy, and then they started doing all their drugs and smoking their weed
at their local pub.
And then they go, oh, whales. And I mean, that's just.
And then somebody said, right.
What's all this thing?
And then somebody said mechs.
And they actually meant Mexicans. They wanted to go out and get tacos, but it just kind of worked. Because they said whales, and the guy was thinking fish tacos.
You want to go get some mechs? Yeah, that makes sense.
Mechs.
Yeah.
Mechs. Whale mechs. Yeah. Fish tacos. Whale mechs. That's how it all works. Deep fried. All right, next up. Marvel Minimates Series 51. As we talked about, I think it was last week, Series 50 being the fan-selected characters. 51 is the Marvel Now line.
Oh, we're going to do this now?
Yeah, so the new Marvel Now, which has been hitting for, I guess, 4 months now?
3.
Only been 3? Okay.
We're on issue 3. Come on, man.
Well, like, All New X-Men is, like, on issue 6, but they've been ahead of schedule. Anyway, Marvel Minimates Series 1 Marvel Now with Spider-Man and the new Nova, Sam Alexander. Shanna the She-Devil, who's getting a new series, and Sauron, who's the pterodactyl guy. Nick Fury Jr. from Battle Scars and the Heavy Shield Agent. And then a variant set with Maria Hill and the Heavy Shield Agent. So, Nick Fury Jr. From Battle Scars, he's the new black Nick Fury, so that Nick Fury of regular Marvel Universe looks like Nick Fury of the Ultimate Marvel Universe, which looks like Nick Fury in the movies, who is Samuel Jackson. So if you want your Samuel Jackson Marvel Universe mini-mate...
Well, how do you have a black baby?
Wait, he had a black wife.
What?
White dad, black mommy, black baby. Yeah. Listen to Public Enemy. It's on one of their albums. They explain the whole thing.
Too legit to quit.
Although I like that Nova.
Too legit to quit.
That Nova's pretty cool too.
Yeah, super cool.
Something about Shanna the She-Devil in that block body just doesn't do that bikini top justice.
Well, you gotta use your imagination.
Like they painted the shapely lines on her to give her her curves, but it's a big block body, so it just... I don't know.
So is that like a Conan knockoff book?
Yeah, kind of.
Competing with Conan?
No, but it's more of a... Actually, it's more Tarzan.
Like Jungle?
Yeah.
So like...
Tarzan?
No,
they made a movie.
Cave Woman.
Yeah, well, yes, it is like Cave Woman.
There it is.
In fact, a lot of the artists that draw the big booby drawings for Cave Woman do stuff for, like, Frank Cho. Frank Cho does some Cave Woman covers and pinups, and then he also does a lot of Shanna.
Well, there you go.
Or is it Shauna? I don't know. Let's see here. Miracle Productions. They've been working on a masterpiece vehicle Voltron for a while now. There were questions about who had the rights and which regions it could be sold in and whatever, but now they are moving forward. They're setting their goal for April 2013 to have the figure ready for production. $269 for this masterpiece. And they have released the unpainted prototype figures. So you can see what they look like just in their, you know, kind of random, made out of whatever metal and plastic was handy kind of form. No color to them. They're all just kind of gray with the screws in it. But you can get an idea of how they're going to, you know, fit together. It's Vehicle Voltron, so you probably know how it's going to fit. Because everybody loves Vehicle Voltron, right? Was that your favorite, the vehicle?
I thought Vehicle Voltron had like 1 million pieces.
No, not 1 million.
Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Because wasn't there like, I don't know, it seems like there was more. What was the Voltron that had like 1,000 pieces? Like
that was
20 some pieces.
Well, I mean that was that one, but
but it's not that one because this one only has 13 pieces. So
yeah. The only other Voltron was Gladiator Voltron, and that was just 3 robots that would stack their midsections together, so it had 6 arms.
That's what she said.
That was.
Does that apply?
That was the other Voltron.
Okay, well, whatever. Voltron, you know, let it go. So you're gonna buy that?
Not for $269.
You will think about it.
I'll think about it.
I'll wait really hard.
I'll wait for the knockoff for $17.99 to show up on eBay. The one that's made out of flimsy plastic and 18 inches tall. All right, MattyCollector question and answers for Toy Arc. A couple things to point out on here.
Oh, I remember when we used to have these for us.
Yeah, before they kind of got stolen away. First up, this one kind of bothered me. Someone asked on here, will we see a DC Universe Space Ghost figure, or does Jazzwares have the license locked down? And he replied, no, we do not have the rights to Space Ghost. Meh. Meh. M-E-H. Meh. Like, seriously? You don't see any value in Space Ghost? Like, you don't deserve the license if you don't see any value in having the license to Space Ghost.
Is it a Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
That would be part of the license.
That would be amazing.
Exactly. That's the whole point. So if you see no value to the license of Space Ghost, you don't deserve it. So hopefully Hasbro can get it, because Mattel, you're losing out. One other thing here. Have you ever considered making a Masters of the Universe Classics Keldor based on the San Diego Comic-Con 2002 exclusive, the one with the melted face, swappable heads, including a Skeletor head, And he said, we've thought about this, but there's no plans for a melted face right now, maybe one day. So they have been kind of cutting back on accessories and stuff. Costs keep going up. They actually posted a lot of people complaining about the price now on figures. Day of sale on figures have risen, where now if you go day of sale to buy the figure, it's $27 plus shipping. If you have a subscription, it's $25 plus shipping. So day of sale, it used to be $20, and with your shipping, it was $28. Now you're looking at $27 just day of. Somebody with a subscription said that his with tax and shipping came to $38. So wow. $38 for a Masters figure. A lot of people have been complaining, especially with Fangman, because he's one of those background filmation characters. A lot of people saying he's really not worth the money and everything. And they've thrown out some ideas. They said, are you guys willing to get him in poly bags instead of the blister cards in order to cut prices? Are you willing to cut accessories so you just get the figure and, you know, like their snap-on armor and that's it?
Poly bag would be fine.
There are a lot of things going on. And there are a lot of people that will say, well, I want all the accessories, but a poly bag's okay. And other people say, no, it can't be in a poly bag because then it won't match the others. It's got to be in the box, but you can cut all the accessories.
That's true. But at this point, if you're still collecting that line, you have 4,000 package figures now. So it doesn't matter.
So, I mean, either way, it's not turning out well. And a lot of people are just looking at the price of it. And especially this year with so many people who got the extra subscriptions to make the sub go through. You know, the people who said, oh, I went ahead and signed up for a third one and a fourth one, you know, just to make it, you know, successful and whatever. They're getting, you know, now instead of being hit with, you know, a $90 bill, they're getting a $120 bill. Just because the cost of shipping and the cost of the figure has gone up. And they don't want to do it.
Yep. So look for those on eBay.
Well, and also
slightly discounted prices.
This, unless they do some changes to the line, I would not expect it to go to 2014. I would expect this to be the last year unless they find some way, you know, to bring the cost down, because there are a lot of people that just the price is not.
Well, they've been having issues and after issues, and every year it seems like it's less and less, and it has to be. I mean, obviously they're not going to tell us it is, but it almost has to be. So, yeah, I don't know. I dropped out. I couldn't do it anymore. You get randomly hit with these bills that were like insane amounts of money for, and honestly, there's too many figures. I'm already over it.
Yeah, and well, and like with Fangman being just kind of this random background character, you know, and he's a guy with like a lizard head and he's purple. You know, it's just like, who cares? You know, it's like I don't hate the character, but at the same time, there's no way I'd pay basically $40 to get him. You know, just not going to happen. So, all right, next up, Play Imaginative has come up with the DC Comics New 52 Super Alloy figures.
What?
These are basically 1/6 scale figures, about a foot tall, and they all have this kind of metallic sheen to them. You know, most of the new 52 DC characters, their suits have been redesigned to kind of look like plates of armor anyway, so they've kind of played that up a little bit to make the armor stand out a little bit more. They've released pictures of their New 52 Batman. They have plans to continue the line. Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, and The Flash. No word on Cyborg or Wonder Woman as of yet. No price listed on here officially, but they are already, they're taking pre-orders through places like Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know who's going to place a pre-order without having to confirm price. I don't know, but anyway, 1/6 scale, 12-inch. You know, we just had a conversation last week with a guy who is a big collector of 12-inch figures, 1/6 scale. So I don't know. Is this something you're looking forward to? Are you going to grab some of these? Super Alloy, just kind of weird to have everything in like metallic.
It's just another repaint. I mean, let's be honest about it. It's just another repaint of the same figures that you probably have 1,000 of.
Well, except
it's cool. It's cool.
It's New 52 Batman.
It's cool.
So there's only like 3 of those made already.
Yeah, but there's going to be 1,000 of those made soon.
Well, yeah, but not now.
And it'd have to be like superly good deal to do it for me. And honestly, I don't even. I don't know. I'm looking at it. It looks really nice, but those pictures are very fooling. Because if you remember, we saw Ninja Turtle figures that looked like this, and then when they came out, the collector line, they were terrible looking.
Yeah. You always have to worry a little bit about the first...
Some Photoshops.
Well, it's also like they're prototypes of a quote-unquote finished product versus what comes off the mass production line. Where are we at in the chat? Ooh, now we got 5 viewers watching the show on the live stream.
What?
Remember, guys, we have the sound turned off, so don't try talking to us because we can't hear you because it's going to mess up the show that's going through on the regular camera. If you want to ask questions or make any comments, use the little chat bubble on the side. Go into the chat. You can type. But don't try talking. All right, next up.
Or try talking.
Yeah, or just go ahead and talk. Talk. Yeah, just talk. Yeah, just keep talking. Iron Man 3 assemblers, Wave 1. These are the ones that come with the swappable pieces so you can customize the armor. They've announced what these are based off the 3 3/4 inch figures. There's a red and gold Iron Man, a white and gray Iron Man. There's the Iron Patriot, which is the red, white, and blue one. You have the War Machine movie version, which is black and silver. There's a black and champagne version.
That's fancy.
Yeah, or champagne. And then the gunmetal version.
Oh.
Now these are all made so that you could pull off the arm off one and attach it on the other. You can pull the leg off and reattach it so that you can make different versions. You can create your own and whatever. $9.99 a piece.
I think people have been doing that for years. They just got into it.
It's just called broken.
Yeah.
Now after they announced them, they did send out some super high quality photos, and they're photos of them, like smashing through the wall and flying through snow and all of those like totally unrealistic poses, but you can get a better idea of what some of them look like. And for 3 3/4 inch figures, they do look decent. And then the added ability to pop them apart, piece them back together. I'm sure I'm going to buy some of these for my kids because anytime that they can customize something or assemble something or whatever,
or you buy them for your kids so you can live vicariously through them. And be like, I bought these toys for my children. It's okay, wife. Don't kill me.
Yeah, I mean...
It's for them, not me.
But it's still for them.
Wow.
So it's totally legit. That's why my kids have 40 Skylanders. Because I'm not allowed to buy any more from me.
Oh, this story I heard about today, actually, from a customer.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
No, I do not. Yes, NECA. No, go ahead.
NECA released a line of Django Unchained retro-style figures. These are basically dolls based off the new Quentin Tarantino movie. Basically, what happened is after these were released, the Reverend Al Sharpton,
here we go,
the pillar of modern society, called the dolls offensive, called for a national boycott of them. Naji Ali, director of the Project Islamic Hope, called for their removal, saying, I enjoyed the movie, but we cannot support this type of commercialization. The Weinstein Company responded by saying, in light of the reaction to these action figures, we are removing them from distribution. We have tremendous respect for the audience, and it was never our intent to offend anyone. They were meant to be collectibles for people 17 years and older, which is the audience for the film. So in other words, they say that if you release toys based off the movie, they are automatically for children. The movie is not okay for children because it deals with concepts like slavery and massive usage of the N-word, and therefore should not be sold at all, anywhere, at any time, because toys are for kids, and Al Sharpton thinks it's wrong for them to be sold. So
this dude comes in today, and he's telling me about these. Did you guys get any of these Django figures for sale in the store? And I'm like, no, I didn't even realize they had any. So I was like, he's like, oh, you better, if you have them, they're worth a lot of money now because they had to stop making them. I was like, oh, I better go order some then. But now that it's this late in the day, I doubt they're for order.
Yeah, and I didn't see them anywhere. Like, I don't know who had them. Maybe it was like a Spencer Gifts thing or something. I don't know.
And why are they offensive? It's just a doll of a figure.
It's like, well, the guy says, I actually enjoyed the movie, but we cannot support this type of commercialization. So making a movie that makes millions of dollars in profit is okay. Making a line of collectibles based off the characters, which will give them royalties and make, several $1,000s, that's wrong.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, they were not going to sell that well anyways. Because
yeah, I mean,
it's kind of a
they're dolls.
Yeah,
I mean, they're retro-style figures. But still, and then the Weinstein Company coming forward and saying they were meant to be collectibles for people 17 years and older. As if to say that because they are toys, they cannot be for people 17 years and older. Like, somehow, it doesn't occur to them the idea...
What is, like, the... Al Sharpton just going around messing people's lives up.
That's all what Al Sharpton does.
That's all he does.
He's got nothing better to do.
He goes and he complains about everything, everywhere, all the time. And that's it.
This we much... And we will do this much to this be done.
Leave the toys alone, bro.
Al Sharpton.
Bra.
Pillar of society, that Al Sharpton.
I shouldn't even say bra. I'm sure that's a racist thing.
It probably is. Bro, you don't have the right to say bro. You're not a bro.
I know. My bad.
You're a hoe.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. All right.
Is that a song? You're not a bro, you're a hoe. I don't know. Something like that.
Actually, I think there is a song that says that, but it's got a different beat to it completely.
Oh.
It might be by Lupe Fiasco. I'm not sure. All right.
Okay.
Just throwing a name out. That's the first person I can think of.
Well,
so there you go.
It made sense to me.
All right. Pop Vinyl has announced 2 new lines of figures. First up, Walking Dead figures. These are Funko's Pop Vinyl. You're getting Michonne's Pets #1 and 2. Glenn, the Bloody Glenn, which will be exclusive to Man of Action, and the Tank Zombie. So Michonne, pretty normal. Glenn, just him with the rifle. Bloody Glenn is him with the rifle, but they went with red paint. You get Pet 1 and Pet 2.
I hope they're cheaper than normal because they're missing their arms.
It's the exact same figure, except one has his eyes painted half shut. One has his eyes painted all the way open and looks a little more run down.
Skin tone is a little different.
And then Tank Zombie, which is a zombie from the original pilot episode, which is like the zombie. I remember photos of this guy because he looked like Charlie Adler, who's the artist of the comic. And I was pretty sure either they took him and dressed him up like a zombie and had him shuffling around in the scene, or they took a guy who kind of looked like him and dressed him up to look like the artist of the comic as a joke. I don't know. But anyway, that guy is finally getting a Pop Vinyl figure. And if that's not enough Pop Vinyl for you...
I wish they stopped doing the zombies. People don't care. They don't sell very well.
But they're Walking Dead. But if that's not enough for you, they do have Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So now you can get Jon Snow, Robb Stark, Arya Stark. Is that how you pronounce that? You watch the show.
I know. I haven't watched it in a while. I think it's Arya.
Jaime Lannister.
Is that Jamie?
Is that Jaime?
Jamie Lannister. Come on, man.
Cersei Lannister and Rhaenyra Baratheon. I don't watch the show. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I've never seen it.
It's super good. You should watch it.
Yeah, I've heard. Whatever. So anyway, Pop Vinyls with swords. So now they can fight maybe your Lord of the Rings characters.
It's not seriously whatever you said. It's
Cersei.
No, it's classic. God, I can't pronounce it now because well, whatever. Anyways,
it's not Cersei.
I don't know. I don't think that's right. I just, you know what's funny that you brought this up because I was just thinking about last night rewatching the series. I was like, I should rewatch.
How far are they in? Like 3 seasons?
Season 3 is starting up.
No.
And speaking of Pop Vinyl figures, we do, as you can see here, have a massive amount of the Masters of the Universe pop vinyl figures, which is Beastman, Orko, Skeletor, and He-Man, available at shoppcm.com right now. Just came in. So that's why we have a million of them stacked out here.
One other final piece of news. Nick Ochoa, I got your box. This is a box of Transformers, everybody. I bought a box of Transformers. There's, I don't know, like a dozen Transformers in there.
That's nice.
Because they were all not moving.
I had McDonald's for lunch.
I'm
going to say some random
lift
things
up your
soon.
bag.
It's in my stomach.
Well, then pull
Why
it
are
out.
you telling people you're random what you bought?
Because there's that whole we hate Transformers thing that people still believe.
No one believes that. That was like years
There are
ago.
people that still comment on the YouTube video.
That was years ago.
No, they still do it. Go to the YouTube page and you'll see people that are still like, why do you hate Transformers? All right, time for the fan corner.
Check our. Have you got any viewers? It's been a while.
Oh, we've lost viewers.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, the news is done. They don't want to stick around for the fan corner. They just wanted the news.
Or they just randomly.
Or they're like, this doesn't make any sense. We'll tune in tomorrow. So anyway, first up, Clone Yoshi, of course, opening the thread. Says, hey guys, in your opinion, what's the better toy line? Lord of the Rings movie line or the new Hobbit line?
Lord of the Rings.
Why?
I like the story a lot better. The Hobbit was okay, but it was not as good compared to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but what about the toys?
And the toys, just in that retrospect, are better. Just because they're better to play.
The one thing that I'm baffled by is that the new Hobbit movie comes out, and one of the key things about the Hobbit is his sword, called Sting.
Right.
And why can't I walk into Toys R Us and buy a glowing Hobbit sword? Is it because Sting, the wrestler, owns the rights to Sting? Or Sting, the musician, is already licensing the rights to the name Sting from Sting, the wrestler, so that he can put out albums with the name Sting? So they don't want to make a toy that says Sting because there's too many Stings out there? So they just could say Hobbit sword?
Well, they didn't.
Or the Hobbit?
Probably they just didn't do any roleplay items.
Period. I mean, why? That's like the one... Like, I didn't want the One Ring. I don't want, Gollum's tree branch or what? I don't want anyone's, like, magical wand or anything. I wanted the sword.
That's okay. They don't sell any of that. The only thing you could possibly buy is the One Ring, but...
Yeah, but all I wanted was that sword. Like, ever since I heard they were making the first movie a long time ago, I was like, oh, at least I'll finally get that toy sword.
It's called a lightsaber, bro.
No, I don't want a
lightsaber.
Those. I don't want a lightsaber. I want Sting.
Or you go to any dollar store, and I'm pretty sure any of those play swords light up.
Which, by the way, I haven't seen the new Hobbit movie. Have you seen it?
Not yet. I want to.
Yeah, I'll wait for it on Blu-ray, watch it at home. Actually, I noticed something funny. We took our kids to see a movie a couple weeks ago. We went and saw Monsters, Inc. in 3D. And my wife was excited. Well, it's her favorite movie.
Okay.
It's my wife's favorite movie of all time, Monsters, Inc. And we were excited. It was going to be her first 3D movie, so my wife was excited to finally get to see a 3D movie in the theater.
Oh, she hated it.
No, she loved it. She thought it was great. We took both the kids. We were like, hey, wasn't that fun? And they were like, yeah, wasn't it neat to see it in 3D? Yeah, Isn't that better than watching it at home? No. Like, what? Why wasn't it better than watching it at home? Well, because you can't pause it to go to the bathroom, and the other people will talk and be noisy, and the seats aren't as comfortable as laying on the couch. And for them, it's more of a treat to sit at home and watch a movie on the HD TV than to have to go to the theater and sit in that space with other people and watch it on the big screen.
You're raising some lazy grandmas. Stop coughing. What's wrong with you?
I had the flu last week, remember?
Okay, Rick.
Mine's legit.
This guy.
I wasn't going to come tonight, but both Rick and Scotty bailed on you, so I had to.
And I'm the only guy who doesn't get sick, apparently, ever.
He'll be dead tomorrow. It'll be great. All right, next up.
I just don't sleep. That's the trick.
Yeah, I think that nothing can incubate because you're always awake.
That's true. I think that's how it works.
Boy. You get that 2:45 of sleep and you're good, huh?
No, I went to bed at 5 o'clock last night, to be honest.
No, I mean 2 hours and 45
yeah.
minutes. You get that 2 hours and 45 minutes of sleep.
That's legitimately how many hours I slept
Like, I don't
last
think
night.
you've ever slept more than 2 hours and 45 minutes. Unless you wake up and you do something with Rylan at school, and then you go back to sleep, and then you'll sleep until, like, I don't know, 12:45, and you come walking in here like, oh, I just woke up. I can't believe I fell back asleep.
The thing is, I could sleep for like 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours, fine. But if I sleep beyond that, then I'll sleep for like 12 hours. It's like some kind of weird process.
You know, I was that way in college, but then once I had kids, that completely went away. All right, the skull. Hey guys, just joined the forum. Longtime viewer on YouTube. Love the show. You guys are great.
I am. Thank you.
Wish your store was local, as it would be cool to stop by and talk toys.
Take a car.
You know.
Right over.
Hang out on Google Plus. That's what all the cool kids are doing. Anywho,
No, they're not.
As much as I like your show, I have little interest in most of the toy lines you guys talk about most. I'm a 1/6 scale collector mainly. Yes, I collect hot toys. I've seen you guys mention them a few times over the years, but you just kind of poo-poo on them because of price, which is understandable. However, judging by the amount of smaller or less expensive toys you guys buy a month, it seems like you're likely spending about the same as if you bought one Hot Toys figure a month. I know you guys like movies and think if you actually bought one from your favorite movie, you might just fall in love with them. My favorites are from Terminator. They are so awesome. Have you guys ever considered trying them out?
Okay, look. That is a true statement, but we spend about the same. However, I'd rather have 20 of something than one.
And my personal preference is 3 3/4 inch figures. The G.I. Joe size, the Marvel Universe size, the DC Infinite Heroes size. That's what I prefer in figures. I grew up with the Voltron 4-inch figures, the Super Wars figures, the Super Powers figures. So that's what I like. And the bigger they get from that, the less interested I am in them, period. I have some 12-inch figures and some 18-inch figures that I've gotten as gifts over the years, or I bought because they were of a line that I enjoyed. You know, they did Lance Henriksen figure from his appearance in X-Files, so I bought that figure because I wanted to have it. It came autographed, you know, whatever. I was like, cool, neat collectible. I get it. I look at it, and I'm just like,
who's that guy again?
I'm just not a fan of this size figure.
What was his name again?
Lance Henriksen.
The guy that did the steroids?
On the bicycle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Tour de France winner Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The only figures that I have that are not 3 3/4 to smaller would be like, I have some Masterpiece Transformers.
You got classics.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. I do have a lot of those. I have a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, but a ton
I
of
think
those.
I have like 200 of them. But yeah, and you know, the classic 4 to 5 inch figure that, you know, like Ninja Turtles and all that were fine. I just can't. 6 inches is like that's it. Anything above that is just, I don't have space for it, and it's just they become I don't know, they become something else to me in my eyes. Like it could be the same figure in 2 different sizes, but the bigger one just seems like not as interesting to me.
I could see going with that size figure for something like RoboCop or the Terminator endoskeleton. You know, something that's not supposed to be human looking, something that is a robot cyborg. Not like Arnold in Terminator, because then it's just a dude with, you know, a half robot face. A lot of times they make him. I'm talking something that's like a full robot thing. I could see that being okay.
Yeah, I guess if I collected just say a bunch of He-Mans, and I had one big monster He-Man as like my center display piece, that makes sense, but I don't think I would
in the sense,
have just that.
Yeah, but like in the sense of like a Terminator endoskeleton, I would look at a 12-inch figure as being a small statue, whereas when I see like Batman or Superman or whatever, then it's like a big figure, and once the figure's that big, then it's like a Barbie.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
I think it becomes into be considering it a statue to me too. I think I look at it like a statue. And
So if it's a robot, you know, something like that, then I can see that as a small statue. I'm okay with it in that. But if it's a person, then it's a doll. I just can't. And I know people, it's not a doll. I don't, whatever. It doesn't matter.
That's just the words I choose to use.
Yeah, and regardless, it's just like I can't go for it. You know, if you guys like them, great. You know, and especially the price. you know, with as much as we spend, we could buy a couple, you know, of these. That's undoubtedly true.
For sure.
But I don't want to. So there.
There you go. Nana boo-boo.
Stick your head in doo-doo. Ryan Orton says, hey guys, what are your thoughts on the Masters of the Universe Classics price increase and shipping increase?
Sucks.
For a Netosa figure with shipping and tax, it will now cost me $40.
Sucks.
Do you think Matty is pricing these figures higher than people are willing to pay?
Yes. No. Actually, I think people will pay that.
Well, but do you think...
I think they'll lose. They're like crescendoing down. Like, people are less like they're just losing their base as time goes on.
Think of the chart with 2 lines, and it's like as the price goes up, the number who buy it goes down. How
but there's a baseline where it won't go beyond that no matter how much they charge.
I mean, you think $65, there's still going to be a baseline.
Oh, for sure.
Is that baseline high enough to keep the subscription going?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because they play numbers. Corporate execs look at that going, it's failing. Pull the plug.
Well, but I mean, part of the argument is that when they charge more, they don't have to sell as many.
Yeah, well, that's a great concept. I wish I could do that in my store, too. Comics, $20 a comic. I don't need that many customers.
well, yeah, but there's no
no
competition for He-Man figures. Like, is someone going to go, well, that Matty one is too expensive. I'm just going to buy this bobblehead for $15 because that's my price range. Because, you know, bobblehead, that's just as cool as having the classics figure.
It kind of is.
Actually, it's too bad Scotty's not here because Beastman is his favorite character, and he was going to love seeing this Beastman. I don't know. I kind of want the Skeletor just because there's something about that face. How can you say no to that face? All right, next up, Roy Orton has a second part of his question. He says, I have a subscription, but I will not be picking up any extra figures due to the increase. The fact that the DC Infinite Earth sub Saint Walker figure, which was shipped separately from my Masters of the Universe sub figures, cost $18, but had a grand total of $34.95 after shipping and tax. I was aware of the price increase per figure, but not the shipping increase. Thanks for your insight into this. So the Masters of the Universe Classics, $25 is the sub price. Tax and shipping makes it $38.
They're clearly overcharging on shipping. The
DC is $18 for the figure, but $34.95 after tax and shipping. So it's where do we look at? $7 less cost for the DC figure, but only $2 less shipping.
Well, okay, just to ship a figure about that size should roughly cost $6 to $7 realistically, and they're charging, you know, far beyond that. They're charging like an extra $5 on everything shipped so they can put that money in their pocket. And that's got to be Digital River, just pocketing money off shipping.
That's logistics.
But there's no like legitimate reason why it should cost so much. And tax is only a couple bucks. So obviously they are just going to town on customers, and it's probably not even Mattel's fault. It's probably Digital River jacking the prices in what they call the logistics or shipping fees. So maybe we should be complaining to Digital River for being so damn greedy. Because I mean, let's think. Let's say they ship 5,000 units a month. That $5 they get, and then however much profit they make on the selling the figures, because I'm sure, you know, they got to get some money somewhere. It's got to be obscene profit for Digital River.
I'm sure they're doing fine. All right, Bumble Jumper. Hey guys, when you decide to change the format of your show, which we talked about last week, if you guys missed it, go back, listen. Do you intend on bringing a return to showing off and talking about your collections? I searched back through a few past episodes, and I saw that you used to reveal your figures on a grand scale. I refer to DiRT in his Voltron collection. It'd be nice to see how Killen displays his Lego, or the scale of Power Rangers goodies Scotty Cash has. Would you also be willing to show fans into your home with a short video of how you have displayed your collections?
Yeah.
Actually, that had been a thought.
I'm looking to move again, so...
I was going to say, one of the things about the new show is that if you remember on That New Toy Smell started with kind of a brief introduction, and then there was a toy review. Mm-hmm. And that's all the show was when we first started. Then after a while, we added bits on, we added pieces on here, we added the fan corner, we added this and that. But always at the middle, there was an anchor. And the anchor was a long format video. And it was usually 7 to 12 minutes, depending on, you know, where we were at filming and editing and whatever. But it was a toy review, it was a toy line review, it was a history of a toy line, it was someone's collection, you know, whatever. And that is, having an anchor on the show is kind of the point of the reformat, kind of going back to that idea of that new toy smell, but adding some of the stuff from It Figures, and then mixing in some new stuff that we've been talking about as well, and, you know, adding in other stuff like comics and video games and whatever. But having that anchor, one of the things that I know at least I've thought about is doing something where, you know, all my Voltron stuff, like you say, or all my Tron stuff, since I have so much, or since I have every DC Infinite Heroes figure, you know, all of that type of stuff, that would be that anchor type video. Some of that stuff would be some of those that we would.
I mean, currently I can take it out to my garage and I can
just
lift up the
boxes.
door and you can see like thousands of cases and tubs and stuff, and just sitting there and going, what is, first of all, you go, what is wrong with you? Why do you have that much stuff? And why do you have sealed cases?
So like, it sounds like my wife when she walks into the basement.
It'd be ridiculous. It looks like it's store stock from another store, and that's basically
that's kind of true, is what stuff. It is.
Yeah. So that kind of thing. How I got some on my desk at home where I work at night. I do have like, I just have like a pile of Lego figures that I keep getting, and I keep going, oh, throw it on the pile. So now I just got this like monster like.
But don't you like lose the accessories and stuff?
No, they're stuck to their vans. So. And I got a bunch of and I got like another pile right next to it, just Ziploc figures and like Ziplocs.
Yeah.
So, and then that's just stuff that's I got a random loose figure, and I was like, oh, I'll just put it over here. But yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I need to get all my stuff out and like display it, because I absolutely have zero display at my house right now.
Well, because you're in an apartment right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you don't have as much room. Yeah, and that's another thing.
I'm lazy. I don't want to have to get up and move stuff around.
I also have stuff like throughout the house. So like where my TV is, next to the TV there's a bookcase, and on the bookcase is the PlayStation 3 and the cable box and the Xbox 360 and the Wii and my video disc player, and you know, like all that old stuff is sitting on there. And then I've got like a row of comics, and then on top are all the, like when I bought a box set of Blu-ray and it comes in like a toy, basically, like Star Trek. When I bought that on Blu-ray, I bought the one that came with the USS Enterprise. You know, when I bought Tron, I bought the one that came, it looks like the Tron disc that opens up and it's got the movies. So it's like a shelf of toys there that are all the movie-related ones.
So that's the stuff you want to steal? If I break the
Yeah,
house?
probably.
Okay.
But then like on the other side of the room, there's a shelf, and it's like I keep all my wrestling stuff there just kind of randomly, and I keep like from when I did wrestling, when I was a professional wrestling manager, I've got photos and some of the like gimmick trophies and stuff that we used in the shows, and then figures, and the little rumblers are lined up, and you know, stuff that people have sent me and all of that kind of stuff. So there's like a shelf there, and then you go into the living room, and I've got on the mantle above the fireplace, there's like a mask figure, and there's like, if you remember when I was buying the Infinite Heroes, they're the Coordinating Warriors, which are like the little golden guys.
Yeah, thousands.
Like, yeah, I've got all of those are on the mantle above the fireplace, and so you know, it's like throughout the house I've just got little spots like tucked here and there. There's no like one spot where there's everything together. So it's like there's no way I could walk up to the shelf and film the shelf, but my wife would totally kill me and hunt you down if I were to take a video camera and walk through the house and show you everything.
Huh.
Unless I clean the entire house from top to bottom first, and we know that ain't happening.
No, well, I want to display stuff. I'm every time I get home, I look at my piles. I'm like, man, I need to do something with this stuff.
Or sell it.
Or sell it. I do need to get rid of some stuff too, for sure. I think every collector's like, I need to get rid of some of this stuff.
All right, final question here. This is from The Eternal Reviews. He says, hey guys, how are you doing? I'm still kind of sick, if that counts.
I'm tired.
My question is for Killen.
Yes.
What made you start collecting? There's a second part, but we'll start with the first part.
I don't know. I think I have like hoarding tendencies. Like I noticed. Okay, this is just a weird thought that came to my mind earlier today, but I play like RPG games a lot online, and I have this really bad habit of picking up everything I find.
Yep.
And I stack it, and I have massive amounts of resources, like in my house or whatever. You know.
That was one thing I always hated about Diablo 3. Because I kept having to drop stuff to pick up, like, well, this one's better, but I didn't want to leave the other
one. And it worked
one.
out good, because when I was playing World of Warcraft years ago, people that would, like, they called the farmers, that was me. I'd sit there all night long and just go in a big circle and fight everything just to pick up the small amount of gold that I'd find, or some items just so... And I'd be happy doing that for massive amounts of time, like days on end, just because I don't know, I have, like, this weird want to collect everything. And I think that very much plays into, you know, having a store and selling all stuff. We have a lot of stuff in this store, but we have a lot of stuff in this store that's not even inventory. It's sitting in stacks everywhere. And I just, you know, I can't say no. Like, I want it. I don't...
Well, like, one thing I was thinking of was when you worked on computers primarily, you collected computer parts. And that's one thing you did, is that you were always getting the parts and putting them in, you know, boxes and labeling them and filing them, stacking them, whatever. And you still have shelves and shelves of random computer parts, but they're all like organized and separated and, you know, whatever. And then like you started to hang out with us and it kind of shifted into toys. So it's like you still have that exactly what you were doing before, although before it was kind of useful and somewhat profitable. And now it's just kind of like just the random Lego stuff and whatever Punisher merchandise that you...
I think it's got to a point where it's just, I have so much stuff now that I just gave up on like trying to be organized. And I need to be, but... and I don't know, I think I just done that all my life. I just collected... You know, I just hoarded things in a way. I guess that's probably a trait of a collector. You have some kind of hoarding tendency to some degree.
Yep. I totally do. Always have. Second part of his question. How has having a toys and collectible store affected your own personal collecting habits?
It has allowed me to pick up my personal collection at little to no cost. If I can justify buying something, like let's say I want one figure, but I really just like I don't want to spend $30 for it. It's just out of control. I'll buy a case of them and sell them, and with profits, you know, be able to have that figure basically for free. Although I did have to work to sell the stuff, but you get the idea. So that's kind of how most of my collection is. Or people gave me stuff. You know, anything that anybody's ever given me, I still have. Like I don't, you know, obviously I don't.
Re-gift or anything.
Right. So I have all the gifts that people send me, and I basically now rely on people giving me stuff because I don't go out and buy stuff for myself hardly ever anymore.
Here's one question though. If someone came in and traded something to the store that you knew was valuable,
that is a problem. Somebody will bring something in, or I'll get it at a super deal, and I want it, but then there's a point like this. I do this all the time with games. I'm like, well, realistically, I'm not going to play this game anytime soon. So I better sell it now while it's still valuable.
Because otherwise you'll take it home wanting to play it and it'll just sit there.
And then later down the road when it's not as valuable anymore, then I'll keep it. But I do that. I just did that the other day with something. Some game came in here and it was Lego The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings Lego. And I was like, oh, I'd like to have that. I'm probably not going to play it for like a year, but and I was like, oh, it's still worth some money, so I sold it. But yeah, that's the only thing I really collect anymore that people trade in is I have a lot of Blu-ray movies, and I have a lot of computer games, and I have a handful of PS3 games, and then pretty much just Lego, Master Universe, and some vintage stuff, graded comics. That's about it.
One of the things I started doing lately is because my son loves Skylanders so much and is playing that on the PlayStation all the time, is that I can't to play stuff. I've started going into Steam and I had forgotten like how much stuff I've bought on Steam over the last 2 years.
I did that the other day too.
Because it's like, midweek madness. Get this game for $2.50. I'm like, oh, yep, better have that.
Or you buy the whole collection for $20.
Or you go on like the Humble Bundle, and it's like, get 6 games for $5.40. Done. And so I went on Steam the other day, and I've got like 200 games on there, and I've played like 8. So I just started going down the list. I'm like, gyro helmet. I don't know what this is. Let's install it. Let's play it. Let's see what happens. I've just started going through and playing a bunch of PC games that I haven't played, ever, just to see what they're like and see what's up.
I just did that the other day, actually.
And I still do that on Midweek Madness. I'll still sit there sometimes and pull something up, and it'll be like, get the entire Quake franchise for $14.99. I'm like, wow, that's like a dozen games when you count all the expansions. Done. And then how often am I ever going to play Quake 2? But it's like,
Steam is very dangerous for a collector, and if you're a gamer and you go on there and they're like, you can get this entire catalog of games, like 40 games for like $60. You're like, God. I like 3 of the games, but maybe I'll play the other games.
Or it'll be something like id Software, however you want to pronounce that. It's like every game that they've ever made. It'll be $74.99 on sale this week, $38.50. You're like, oh my gosh, that is such a great value.
I stopped logging into Steam for a while because I kept buying stuff every time I did.
And never play them. Like I said, just collect them, hoard them, build them up. So now I'm starting to go through them. And I've done that. I have done that with toys. I've done the same thing with toys where I'll go into like Walgreens and you go to like the clearance section or whatever, and like the Green Lantern 3 3/4 inch movie figures were on clearance for like, I don't know, $1.05 or something like that.
I never see those deals. You always talk about these Walgreens deals. Like,
and I've brought them in before, and I come in with like the big Walgreens bag with like 12 3 3/4 inch figures. He's like, "How much you pay for that?" Like $6 for the whole bag. And then he'll run out there and they're all gone.
There's nothing there. Never is there anything in clearance.
But I have a ton of Green Lantern movie 4-inch figures still in package, never opened. And I mean, to be fair, most of them are crap, but I bought them for like $1 or less. But they're all just sitting there in the package, and it's like, I didn't buy them to display them in the package because they're that awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I totally bought them to rip them open and throw them around and play with them and do whatever with them. I've just never done whatever with them. It's just that hoarding collector side. It's a drug, man.
It's a disease.
Collecting is one hell of a drug.
True that.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching.
I'm done talking to you people.
Don't forget, if you want to get in on the fan corner, go to jointheforums.com, part of the Pop Culture Network. If you want to hang out in the Google Plus Hangout, you can follow me on Google Plus. You can go to Pop Culture Network on Facebook, Pop Culture Network Twitter. You can find the links to those things on our main website, so don't feel bad if you don't know what they are off the top of your head. You can also leave us a voicemail. You can call 217-953-4025. I was going to do my cell phone number
You're the
again.
only one who knows
I started to do my cell phone number, and I was like, that would be a very bad idea. You can also email us, killen@popculturenetwork.com or dirt@popculturenetwork.com.
You get like 2 guys to call you. Don't act like your phone be blown up. Oh, millions of people. I had to change my number.
No, there would be...
I'm Britney Spears.
No.
Who's going to call you?
No one would call me, but I'd get every prank dial recording possible underneath the sun. I would get Arnold. Like, I'm a cop, you idiot. I'd get that one 9,000 times a day.
I would just like people to send me random texts saying how they're sick today and they can't make it into work, so that I don't feel like Rick's the only person doing that to me.
You want me to call in sick tomorrow?
I can't come in, bro. I threw up everywhere.
Hey, man, I'm standing here talking to my bookie, and he's about to break my leg.
Rick,
so you can go ahead and PayPal me.
Rick always says, I have a 100+ fever, I'm crapping myself, or I'm throwing up constantly. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, we can go next week, he'll probably be fine. And then a couple days later, he'll be saying that either I have a fever that's insane numbers, I'm crapping all nonstop, or I'm throwing up. He has thrown up 50 times this year from being sick. That's not normal.
I actually tweeted the picture of, we have a digital thermometer. So my fever on Saturday was like 101.7. And so I actually like tweeted the picture of that as proof. Like I actually had a fever.
You threw it in you microwaved it.
I peed on it because my pee is hot. 101 pee. How hot would that be? How do you think that would feel? 101 pee. That's way above boiling.
So I want to say something.
Or is it? I think it's not boiling.
You know those Facebook pictures people always have?
I don't know the temperature of boiling water.
The pictures of Facebook people have that says like some random quote and it's like an old like random plain picture of somebody.
Oh, like the e-cards thing? Right.
So there's one that says girls clean toilets by using Comet and,
yeah,
and then guys just find a stain and try to pee on it.
Pee as hard as they can on it.
I'm like, yeah, I do.
I'm totally guilty. Yep. I saw that actually yesterday, and I was like, yes, that is the absolute truth.
I started laughing. I was like, that's funny, because I thought, in my mind, I guess I thought I was the only one doing that, peeing on stains.
It's like, oh yeah, there's a little piece of poop stuck there. I better try to hit that. I better get that. I don't want to have to scrub that later. There it goes.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
well,
totally do that.
There you go.
They ain't scrubbing bubbles. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Maybe, if I'm not dead. If he doesn't snap me to death. Can you do 2 snaps up? Like on In Living Color?
No, I can't do that.
You don't remember that?
Once around the world.
Yeah.